Poll Harris climbs in the Democratic race, as enthusiasm starts high for both parties. An 8-point jump in support for California senior Kamala Harris, former Vice President Joe Biden 28% and Vermont senior Bernie Sanders. Harris' rise comes across the board. There is no major demographic group in which she lost support since December, but her gains are more pronounced among Democrats plus 10 points than independents plus 5, liberals plus 10 more than moderates or conservatives plus 7, women plus 9 more than men plus 6, and racial and ethnic minorities plus 10 more than whites plus 6. Beyond the top 4, Massachusetts senior Elizabeth Warren's The Poll also finds enthusiasm about voting next year already outpaces the level seen for any presidential contest since the turn of this century. 4 in 10 say, but unlike last year's midterm elections, when Democratic enthusiasm propelled the party to a majority in the House of Representatives, the energy now is higher among Republicans. Nearly 6 in 10. That could be because it's a little easier for a voter to get excited if they have a good sense of who their party's standard bearer will be. And Republicans, 76% of Republicans and Republican-leaning independents say the party ought to nominate Trump in 2020, a figure that has held roughly steady for the last year. Nearly 8 in 10, almost 6 in 10 Democrats and Democratic-leaning independents, though, see their field as wide open at this point. Just 37. A majority of Democratic leaners say they would rather see the party nominate a candidate with a strong chance of beating Trump 56%, while 35% say they prioritize a candidate's issue positions over electability. That preference for electability appears to work against Sanders most strongly. Among those who asked directly whether Democrats have a better chance with Sanders at the top of the ticket or someone else facing off against Trump, 56% of Democratic leaners say the party's chances are better without Sanders. Asked the same about those numbers suggest at least some of the support for Biden and for Sanders is based on something more than just the fact that they are the best-known candidates in the field. But it also does rate Biden's support, for example, hits 30% among moderate and conservative Democrats. But compared with it is still possible for these well-known players to get an announcement bump and, as the highest-scoring unannounced candidate in the field, Biden may yet benefit from making it official. Sanders announced his run on February 19, and his overall standing rose from 14% in December to 20% now. His favorability. The poll also finds Democrats and Republicans have completely different issue priorities when thinking about next year's election. Among Republicans, the CNN poll was conducted by SSRS March 14 through 17 among a random national sample of 1,003 adults reached on landlines or cell phones by a live interviewer. Results for the full
Raindrop, drop top, smoking, no cooking the hot pot. Fucking on your bitch, yeah, that. Looking up, open the park,